All right, check, check. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Welcome back. Guys, it's 9:20 and I will say I feel pretty bad here. I injured my spine in the gym yesterday. My already weak spine, and now I can barely walk and stand. Probably will have to go for an x-ray today at some point. But the beautiful news is trading is not physically demanding, so we can at least push through, stand here, and lock in some nice trades. We are on a 2-day red streak, and it's time to get green. So, in terms of the watch list, and of course, check out the disclaimer. Remember that day trading is risky. For the watch list here, we got a couple of stocks that are looking decent. So there's ENSC, and there's SNOA and AGRI. Those are my top three, and I'll keep an eye on the scans. UPXI, let me take a quick look here. First daily candle make a new high. Definitely could be interesting later. All right, I think that is it. All right, so I can add UPXI here. Potential continuation. All right, looks good. Bro, I'm gonna have to sit down, son. This is crazy. I'm in my mid-20s and yet I'm like a crippled old man here. This is this is interesting. Is this how old people feel, when you're like 85 and trying to walk and stand? So ENSC is at 519 for highs. Low of the pullback has been 393. Daily chart. The daily chart looks pretty decent. First daily candle to make a new high in a while. And we have room to the 200 EMA, which is up there at 1190. But, perhaps more realistic to see $7-8 first. So we don't have any major levels there, but there's a few candlesticks that stands out a little bit. Yeah, we'll see how this one does. I think playing by ear, but around 11, 12 is where we kind of really saw resistance last time it made a big move. I think $9 could be a good target if it's really strong. No resistance till that level on the daily chart. That's ENSC, my top stock heading into the open. It's up 120% with 37 million shares of volume. SNOA up 81%, 36 million shares of volume on this one. By the way, I got to make sure I turn on my screen recording. I haven't always been remembering. Turn on the screen recording. That way we can go back and review. So SNOA pre-market highs at 539. We've pulled back quite a bit though. We had a double bottom here towards 406. Since then we've pushed up to 433 and we've been in this tighter range here So over 430, hopefully we can see that, and then a red to green up to the pre-market highs. My daily chart kind of marked up. Probably could do with removing some of these trend lines, but we'll see how it fares. Last big move we had was to 446 before the stock came back down. Other than that, perhaps room to $6. There's 2 minutes 50 seconds. AGRI. I mean, it doesn't look that great. It moved up a couple. I will have some trend lines here, so it had to have moved up recently, but it doesn't look super great. But we'll see. AGRI 266 for pre-market highs, and lows have been around 190, kind of flatlining. We'll see if it moves up, but the other two in SNOA and ENSC are definitely my favorites here. The last 2 days, man, one of those days happened to be hotter. We weren't able to capitalize on the expensive stocks. The range got the better of us. That was Monday. Tuesday, yesterday, we had a slow grinding stock that I wasn't able to capitalize on. It did open up a little later, I suppose, but at that time we're kind of already shutting it down. So, we got to do a good job pacing ourselves. For the most part, yesterday we kept it tight, but then we did expose ourselves in some areas and took losses. But for the most part, I did like the approach, which was slow, steady, sticking to small size as much as possible, waiting to get the hot stock of the day. If we're not seeing that, then just have to take it easy, keep it tight. But hopefully we get something good, because I'm ready to be aggressive here if we need to be. Finer details and things to mention for myself: sizing down on pullbacks, cutting my losses quickly on any dips, breakout or bailout as usual for breakout trades. No silly mistakes here. No silly mistakes. 26 seconds, looking to trade to the best of my abilities. We got a low of 22, a high of 33. There's 12 on the bids, new low. Yeah, so I guess there's two things I gotta go to the hospital for, right? I actually just got my, well, I guess we'll talk about that later. So, 443 highs. Can we hold and sustain, though? So far, so good. We had 09 to 46. Decent. It's holding up. I'm gonna start to use a little bit more size, just 1,000 shares. Well, never mind. I'm gonna try to dip at 11. I got it murdered with the fill, of course. Ah, and it's back down. Man, that is brutal. Hopefully no one got caught there in the chat room. We got a lot of random stock sitting scans. AGRI. We'll see if it's able to keep pushing. SNOA. Will we see a red to green? First 1 minute candle to make the new high on SONA. Can we see over 13? You see how I'm saying I was going to use some size here, right? And that mean the moment is in that moment is coming down. But I wasn't going to go to full size. About 1,000 shares, still small, but even with 1,000 shares, if I'm in at 50, I'd have lost like 500. And that looked solid. Good early move, and then right back down. MCRB. I'm going to check out some of the stock sitting scans. This one is in the depths. SERV. Nothing really looking good. I personally think nothing with at least 1 million shares should be hitting the scans. Like, all this is noise here. ENSC 417. It's going to be interesting if it gets up to 417. VWAP though is still, of course, 31. It might retest the highs here eventually. Let's see what it does. I tried to buy back. My hotkey didn't fire off right there. Watch out for a big drop though. Let's see. 512 is the halt up. I tried buying back 21. It kind of fumbled the hotkey. No big flush as of yet. No big flush as of yet. The question is, will we hold up? It fooled us once, will it fool us twice? And it's gonna fool us twice. Great. Lovely. Chop City. Note to self, do not trust the stocks today. We want to see this hold up 20. We're down $4. I'm going to try to dip. Can we see at least 15? There's 12, 14. A normal stock would have held like 35 and then be back at the highs. And this is back down to the lows. And to make matters worse, I fumbled my hotkey because I'm in at 17. I sold at 28. But the moment it dips down, I'm looking to get back in. I didn't click my hotkey hard enough, which that does happen to me from time to time. Kind of silly, but felt like 17 was a little bit more obvious there based off the chart. This time, I don't know. I mean, the pattern is somewhat the same, but can we get back to 50 again? I'm going to try to trade the range here, small size. So SNOA up a little bit. Level 2. Why are we looking so clumsy? There we go. The halt up is at 517. I guess there's no liquidity. It's not showing any liquidity over 440, which is strange. Is the level 2 lagging? Okay. It's kind of clumsy on the level 2. I'm not sure why it's looking like this, but okay. If it can hold up without giving a big flush again, I think that'll be pretty crucial. Can we break and hold 50? Not quite. It's trying. I'm gonna give it a shot. And it's not pulling away. Trying to dip. Let's hope it doesn't dip into oblivion.
SEAD, ENPH, PONY, EDU, WTF, TBTX.
Okay. A little bit of paper hands right there. It held up nicely. It's probably going to break out at some point. You know, it's pretty active here.
NG, GRRR, MLGO, EDU,
No retest, 42.
SLXN,
Can we see back over 50? It's a high hold. 52.
MLGO, GFS,
It's still pretty active here, but we're not really getting over 50. So there's definitely some resistance.
EDU, USAR, SLXN, NG,
Can we hold over 50? It's not really dipping. So it's best if we see the pull away. If not, we might see an extended pullback.
SLXN, NG,
Micro.
ENSC,
Fuck. Piece of shit.
GRRR,
Stuck. Bro, come on, man. Well, I caught the move going up, and I'm once I see that, I'm gonna size on the micro. The freaking thing is back down. Bro, come on. We have the short sellers on the run. Right there, we're supposed to be over 5 at the halt up, like on the next push.
HSA,
Oh, man. Well, typical. This is what's been happening to me is that once something good happens, I size, and then the follow-up trade doesn't work. It's been the market that we've been in here.
EWBC, AIOT, GFS,
Is there anything else? And that was a nice sweet dip.
AGEN,
Bro, I've took that trade thousands of times. Like, it sucks when it doesn't work. But when it's working under better circumstances, that's usually a pretty good result.
ENPH, SCDG, MLGO, TMC, SLXN,
SLXN.
AEHL, RRCE.
The halt is at 16 here. A breakout at 05.
HSAI. PH. NG. SCDG. TNC. AZ.
I lost like $1,000 on that trade, maybe even more. SLXN looks interesting.
EWBC.
The halt is now at 19.
TOI. NG. TU. GRRR. HSAI. ENPH. AIoT. SLXN.
Really? I made $20 on that? Wow. Okay.
NG. UPXI. HTZ. BKR. SCDG. TMC. NG.
EBGN. MCRB.
BKR. UPXI. API.
KB.
TMCWNU will resume at 9 hours 52 minutes and 58 seconds. GRAL.
Can we see the 1-minute candle make a new high? We're kind of struggling.
SCDG. HSAI.
I might have sold a little early, but we're seeing some resistance 13. I'll get back in. I'll buy the breakout, I don't mind. But I'll take the gains off the table.
NG.
Okay. And 16, 17, 16, 17.
ITRF. JNBR. NCL. TARF.
TMC.
Bro, that, you know,
RRC.
that move, man. It's that move has been so nice to me over the years that it's hard not to take it, but it does when it doesn't work, and it doesn't work sometimes. Like if we're gonna go over 5 into the halt up, it's gonna always work, right? But on the days where that big red candle's coming, I'm gonna be getting punched in the mouth.
BKR.
I'm gonna size down here.
RRC.
I want to see us over 15. Can we get to 19? Yeah, showing maybe there's some selling pressure here. Looking for over 19 on SLXN.
BKR. RRC.
SPA.
HSAI. BKR. NG. RRC.
DOGZ.
HSAI.
Are we holding here and I'm sleeping? Maybe.
NG.
I was expecting a bigger pullback.
You may resume in less than a minute.
The stock seems to have range. I don't know. So I kind of playing it safe maybe. But I'll probably miss the dip if this is the dip. All right, I'll jump in. 3K size, smaller size. There's some sellers here too. Could be dicey. Where's VWAP? 7, 6. Bro, come on. Also, but it's tape. It's killing me here. And now I'm chasing it 2 cents higher, and it's not ready to go, and I'm going to take a loss.
9 hours, 57 minutes and 30 seconds.
Was that it? 8 by 8. 7. There, the 5-minute candle is red, so could always see the 5-minute pullback as well. Maybe that might have been it. Paper hands.
SARW.
USAR.
Yep, okay, fair. I'm gonna use size here. Can we see something good? For a micro. Oh, terrible, terrible. Yeah, not bad. Okay, alright, at least this was a good move. I'm not gonna get anything here, but nice push. And I gotta be careful of it failing miserably.
HSAI. BK.
Can we see over 19? Sometimes you gotta chase. Like I should have been in at like 12 at least. Would have been good.
CASK. ABB.
BK.
Bro, do not cook me here. Oh my god. Accuracy on this last push, nowhere to be found. So we have to correct that. I'm gonna have more size ready too, just in case. Because so far, so good. Alright. High 23.
Big white.
RC.
See, because of the last stock, it's kind of hard to trust this breakout on the way down, but it's proving, some strength here, which is the main thing. Is that a loss? Oh my god, wow. Unbelievable.
STB.
Unbelievable.
SLXN. GELS.
31, the target,
GR.
and the halt up.
You may resume in less than a minute. TSTB. HSAI. TB. HSAI.
It's possible it comes down a little more. We'll see. Early. Okay. All right. Okay. Not the best fill, but all right. What's the time? If we don't curl here, then maybe we need a bigger pullback. What will it be? Time, 35 seconds.
Repeat XI.
Bro, show me 25 here. Can the 1 minute candle make a new high? 20.
HSAI. SNDK.
I'm willing to get back in, but it's moving a little choppy here.
Team resume at 10 hours 4 minutes and 41 seconds.
LUC1.
Repeat XI.
I mean, it's not great that we're kind of back here. What makes this dip interesting is the halt down is it's 4 cents away. It's at 04. I'm gonna take a starter, a real small starter. We're either seeing a good 5 minute setup or it could be backside, but small size that way I don't lose anything if it is gonna go to the depths. Alt down is moved down a little bit more. Now I'm gonna have a big time position ready here, but only when the time is right. I could take it here, but again, a little bit more tricky. Okay, okay.
MSGM.
How are we gonna react? Can we slingshot? Can we slingshot?
VOW menu may resume in less than a minute.
It doesn't look like it.
RILT.
Oh, okay, 6, 4, 5, 4 by 5, 3 by 4,
BTDR.
4 by 5.
RILT.
Maybe that's it.
BTDR.
You see, this is where the day would be looking really good, right? This is how the hotter markets usually work, right?
ENSC.
And that last stock, instead of that move flushing down and we went higher, it probably got halted up. We trade it halts up for 10 minutes. We trade this stock here. You add 400 and then resumption comes. At that point, you're already green like 1.5 on the other stock. You're up 2K. I'm up 2K, and then
MLG.
the 10-minute halt resumption. We probably add another 2K or something, and then maybe the stock is on the backside. And a real hot day, it just keeps going. And then it's a nice 4K day, and it's time to leave. Yeah, okay, bit of a chase there.
AREB. SMMT. TMC.
AREB. AREB. AREB mooning. SLXN I think still has potential, but I'm gonna switch away for a sec.
BTDR.
I was 83. So hard to trust that level, bro. It's gonna hold or back at the high. Oh man. Well, that's fair.
AREB.
Double bottom at 70.
18 XS.
One more micro. Oh,
AREB.
there's a seller. It might take off. It's kind of close to taking off, but will it happen? Can we see like 330?
QBTS.
I sold it too soon.
SNMT.
All right, all right. I think it's all about getting fills. The fills here is the key. We got 22 right there.
and GNE. NC index.
MGO.
Is there a hidden seller too? There's a hidden buyer and a hidden seller here. Now there's an actual bit seller, 33,005. Oh, what? Rip over three. Over three. Over three. I'm actually going to size down a little bit
18S.
and protect these gains. Gains are too hard to come by in these treacherous times.
MCRB.
Okay, that did not work. It might still go though. 15? Oh, okay, maybe not.
ALO.
I thought that was going to take off the party there, so it kind of jumped in a little higher. The buying volume is coming in pretty high, but there's some hidden sellers along the way.
SLDB.
MLG. Okay, Nova.
Why did I only take 5 cents there? I don't know. Or probably less than that. Where did I get filled? 4 cents. It's just a crime. Oh, 3 fill. All right. It might break down. Time. There's less than a minute in this cal stick here. Was it gonna be? The bid is adding to their order. Tight stop. Easing off. This is not a bad place for the 5-minute setup. If it so decides to come.
PONY.
Oh, of course, bro. It's an instant reclaim. Well, I could have took that dip. Probably should have took that dip. See, at the last moment, I'm thinking, okay, maybe we'll just see a 5-minute setup and bigger pullback. 13 cents gone to the wind. It seems like the stock might be getting shorted between 3 and 310.
SXTP.
I mean, it looks pretty bullish, but you know, we got all these topping wicks and a bit of a flat top. What's this right here? Like 310?
SMMT.
Not this level here. Like 310. Do I want to use size? See, this is the thing. Like, if I use size, bro, and then this thing fails, it's gonna be a repeat of the last stock.
SXTP.
So I think just playing it safe with the smaller size in a hotter market for sure, like 10,000 shares plus. Doesn't seem like it's a bigger dip, so maybe I need to be more active.
XNC mark.
B is
AREB. It could still break down. We'll see what the VWAP is saying. The new 5-minute candle is 1 minute away. This is going to be an interesting candlestick. Can we get through resistance? There's a seller right there, all right. But can we break free? It's coming down. Can we hold? I'm gonna add. And the moon. Okay, okay. 30, 30, 35, 30, 35. There's no reason we shouldn't get 35. They need to cover their shares here and be respectable short sellers. Oh shit, I got 25 selling at 30. Yeah. Bro, I'd be already sold like out, like why wait to see if it rejects, you know? If I'm short at 310, 315, 305, I'm selling like nobody's business to cover. There, it looks good here. It looks healthy. Now we just don't need a miraculous flush out to bail them out. Because, oh, that can happen from time to time. No miraculous flush out here. Alright. I'm cool with this. I'm cool with that. Ideal. Ideal. Tight stops. If they're bailed out, like it just doesn't make any sense here. So I'm holding this diamond hands.
SNMT.
Diamond hands.
Phone halted. BOWN.
Holding this like Wall Street bets, brother. I need to see 40 on the ask. Everything I know tells me this should go up, so it's do or die. I'm gonna lift by the sword or or keep my stop tight. All right, there's 26, and the short sellers are sweating. Short sellers are panicking right here. This is the move to 50 now coming next. 50. Right now they're panicking, brother. We should see 50 here. I sold half, but still waiting.
SNMT.
My intuition will have to set me free here. 42. Now show us 50. See, my intuition was telling me to take that trade with size. So it's basically that trade is basically the same trade on the other stock that just, destroyed me, all right?
SNMT.
Why did the other one not go? It's hard to say. It's like it doesn't make sense in those situations. The short sellers just get bailed out for nothing
QBTS.
when they should be feeling the pain of a squeeze to 50. All right, I'll take 44. They should be feeling the pain of a beautiful breakout. It's like the last stock right here just evaporated down to 310. Like,
ARV.
is it like somebody selling early? Perhaps, but you'd expect the move to work because people are covering, and then other long bias traders are chasing the move. So any selling that comes should be observed pretty easily. And there's 50. And this is where I then ask myself, what's the next entry? I'm all out.
SNMT.
It just feels so refreshing to get a linear move.
DATS.
There's one of two things. It either pulls back or it just keeps going. So I'm going to prepare myself with small size in case it keeps going to scalp it. But if we pull back, then I'll wait, be more patient.
SNMT. BCAX. BOWN may resume in less than a minute.
That's not the fill I wanted there. All right. Damn. But how low can we go? Is a key question here.
CW. ILLR.
There's a big seller in the ask.
SNMT.
I only got small size in case it just keeps going down because you just never know. I'm trying to utilize my indicators here as best as I can. But if it wants to go down lower, then I'll have to stop out, and I'm gonna have to stop out. And it's back up. Okay. Okay, the pullback is not a 1 minute pullback. Jeez, bro, this is brutal. So it's a 5 minute dip right after the breakout.
BTS. Okay, Ella.
My average still. All right. Okay. This is not a bad thing per se, but I don't like to see this, but it's fine. But I don't want to get heavy here. Not yet. Not yet. Just in case we were gonna pull some shenanigans
RGTIW.
and then come down lower than I even expected. This is fine though. I think this is fine. This is our previous area, so. But can the stock go back up to 350? That's the question now. Can we get back to 350? I think so. So I'm gonna add more, and I'm gonna be patient about it. This starter is kind of high, but it's pretty solid nevertheless. High by my standards, but pretty good nevertheless.
CM.
SLX may resume in less than a minute.
If this setup fails, I'll be disappointed in the stock. But we will see if it has what it takes to fly. I'm not selling nothing till at least 45 too. At least like 40. For me to even consider taking profits, I need to see 40 by 42 on a bid-ask spread. So just like the overall market, I'm going to be buying this strong stock at a discount.
33 minutes and 15 seconds.
And I'm going to keep my stop tight in case it still decides to play with me here. All right. What will it be? As the, and right here, my stop is tight. As long as it doesn't teleport down like 290 or something crazy, right? Where are those bulls, KB? Are the buyers here? Okay, okay.
Okay, LO. QBTS. AST.
Okay, all right, cutting it at 6. It would seem it's coming down. And I gotta still keep my stop tight, despite liking the setup at VWAP.
SMMT.
It is cooked. The selling pressure is on. Well, maybe that's the day.
QBTS.
SLXN. SLXN.
ASTS.
Oh my.
USA.
25 was high of day.
SMMT.
Just 1,000 shares here.
VOW menu may resume in less than a minute. MLGO.
I've always dealt with lower back pain for like 6 years now, which is like quite sad. 6 years. I'm not super sure why it is. Like what caused it.
SLXN.
So after doing some squats at the gym with some weights yesterday, I am now but a shell of my former self. And I think I'm going to go get an x-ray today. Show us 30, 34, like we know you can. All right, okay, maybe I'll take the 1 cent. Selling too soon, perhaps. 28, 29.
SLXN.
So I for those of you who don't know,
ASTS.
I've had sciatica for like 3 years or 4 years.
PONY.
And no doubt because of like the lower back issue. And now today I can barely stand.
Heavy exit.
As long as I can still walk, I will be here. But I think definitely checking this out is going to be important today because this is brutal. This is quite brutal.
SMMT.
This one seems good. I mean, lows right here, 22. We broke over 25. We had a candle close above that level. I think the key is, though, is retesting and then
TWN may resume in less than
getting over 30. Even if it gives a quick dip, I think that's fine. I got smaller size. And there's 25 again.
OKYO.
HXHX.
VOW menu will resume at 10 hours 36 minutes and 45 seconds.
This pain is beyond a masseuse, beyond a chiropractor.
SNT.
You know, I'm the kind of guy that I despise like surgery, but if it comes down to it,
BTS.
I may have to put my spine in the trust of the doctors. Risky business.
SCRB.
Long 19.
SMMT.
Tight stop. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. That's rough. Down to 8.
PONY.
Oh, come on. Looking for the quick dip into the high teens for the retest of the high. It's halting down. And that is my cue. I'm gonna give $200 off the top. It's another good looking setup here, failing. We bounced off VWAP nicely. We got over high of day. Now we just want to see the quick, it's fine to have a quick pullback
SMMT.
and then rip right back up, retest the highs, get over 30. So if I had size there of like, earlier I had 6,000 shares, I'd have been basically flat on the day again.
QUBT.
It's how easy it is with size.
QBTS.
All right, taking the green and being content with the day. Two red days in a row, up down 3,500. We're gonna get back to 1K today, or at least get back 1K of that. 2,500 to go to get out of this drawdown. $2,500 to go. $2,500. No, I didn't see any sellers there. Maybe somebody like market out big size is the only thing I can guess, like, or a couple people. Even the sell off on the other one is kind of,
BBD.
RGTI.
what word do I want to use here? Peculiar. Right? ENSC, AREB, ENSC and AREB both, right? I would have thought this could have held up the VWAP and then curled up again. ENSC likewise. We finally cleared this bit of a resistance here. And then the stock immediately. And I got caught 5,000 shares up here at 67. In at 54. Out at 79. It pulls back slightly. This trade is hit or miss though. I know I accept the risk of it. And it didn't work. I'm stopping out at 30. Quite brutal. Instantly erasing the gain I just had. A physical therapist. I'll look into it. I'm gonna go do an x-ray though. For those of you who are full-time traders, you guys know we pay for our own insurance. So at least it's time to put it to good use, right? Even if you're at like a normal job, there's still like a portion of your check that's kind of going to it. It is expensive though, it's expensive. And there's still like out of pocket stuff too. Capitalism getting us in more ways than one here. Mine is like I think it's like 402. It's good though. I mean, it has a lot of stuff, but it's still kind of pricey. You know, when you look at like your budget, like I look at my budget for the year, right? 30% of your money goes to taxes, and then you have cost of living, you know, your health insurance, your car insurance, grocery shopping, gas, all these things that you do, entertainment as well, traveling, and then all the miscellaneous day-to-day stuff. Of course, there's like mortgage, rent, all the other big ones. And then it's like that's maybe like another third of your money gone, right? And then you still have to save, invest. Tell you, man, this adulting thing is no joke. This adulting thing is no joke. So I'm gonna go get an X-ray here. I'm gonna go to my doctor's office.
PT will resume at 10 hours 42 minutes and 45 seconds.
It's related to money stress. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, the house prices, especially the interest rates, quite brutal right now. Bro, even like I mean everything right now is just bro, I'm doing fairly well as a trader and it's like, bro, what is this that I'm experiencing here? But what I've realized is the money that we make now back in like 2015 and before would have been insane. Now it's good, but it's not the same. Like those prices even just back in like 2015, 2018, pre-pandemic especially, right? So I'm thinking like what about people who are well off since like 2000, 2005, especially after 2008 if they weren't affected by the crash. Like just imagine what you could have done if you had your assets protected, or maybe even if you took a small hit, you know, what you could have done back in like 2009 when everything was just like all-time lows property wise. Man, it's why you'll see the jokes from the full-time traders about like going back to a normal job. Like everyone is secure that I know, but still the joke will come up from time to time, like, you know, filling out an application because things are so expensive. But I guess the only solution is to make more money, right? I don't know what else we could do. So we have to keep studying and keep working and keep the losses tight. Unless there's like another crash and then, you know, things kind of come back down again, like a real crash. Unless that happens, it's like the prices just keep going up. So 40-hour week plus Uber on the weekends for 3 to 4 hours, working on trading as well. Yeah, most people I know, man, that's how they're doing it, you know, it's like get ahead. It's like doing an extra hustle to get some side income as well.
GRAL.
Yeah, you know, I was still at Amazon
PT may
like
resume.
2021, 2022. That's pandemic time too. Like, you know, I do 60 hours a week minimum wage, so I wasn't making anything. I'd make $1,000, but still trading and back then having like a 3K month, a 4K month, and then, you know, that boosts up your income to like 7,000, 8,000 a month, which is like much more respectable, especially back in 2020, 2021. Everything, man, the gas, the plane tickets, everything. But you know, complaining isn't gonna do much for us.
ORKT.
So we just have to put our heads down and grind it out, right? Hustle, get the extra income, trade, and I think trading is the ultimate thing. Is like once we can really get to higher levels here, we will be set free financially. You know, we see it right here in the community, right? You got myself, the trading team house members, some of the students now, you know, getting it done. Wherever we are now, whatever trading can add, even if you just make 50K on the year, you know, for those of us who have the still the normal job, it's good money at the end of the year because it's just sitting there and you haven't used it, right? Is the trick of having one income is that you're constantly having to spend that money on expenses. So it's not really like accumulating as much. But when you have two incomes or three or four or five, they say the average millionaire has six. Even if you just have two or three, you know, the normal job and then trading, and your trading money is just staying there in the account. You know, you look back at the end of the year, you might have made 40K, 100K, you know, whatever it is. And you can really like feel the impact of that cash. So the goal remains the same. It's for us to keep improving. And under hotter contexts, I would have probably had like a 3K day today, but I did not use size on that last push. Like my intuition was telling me like if this breaks then hold over 310, like just go for it. But you know, we already tried twice today and it failed, especially ENSC. And this is why on hotter markets, I don't want to use the word easy. It's never easy, but doable. It's doable because the stocks are actually just they're holding up. They're holding up every area you'd expect it to hold up. Right here on ENSC, we'd hold up this breakout, get up over 5, halt up perhaps at 533. You know, so it's a little bit more linear and predictable price action wise. And if I didn't give back and I added to like 2K on this stock, there's no way that I'm gonna use small size now on AREB through and through on the move, especially this setup right here, because this setup for me is more obvious, right? It's a flat top breakout, and if we can hold over this level, I had 1,500 shares. I added to 3,000 shares, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, right here. So I'm in at 9, and I added 13. I sold at, let's see, I sold at 20. We got back in. We sold 25, and we got back in for the last time at 15 and 18, and we sold up at 33 and 41 for a great trade. And that was on 2,000 shares. So between a 3K position, a 2K position, you know, and the other trades we got below 2 or below 3 rather, you know, it equated to $1,400. Now, when that position becomes like 10,000 shares, 6,000, whatever, you know, it's a massive change in you know, every penny would be $20 with 2,000. Every penny with 6,000 is $60, or 10,000 is $100 every penny. So it's why they say it's exponential, right? Instead of 2, 4, 6, you know, it's like $60, 120. It's a huge difference. So right now, we're just gonna keep taking it easy, taking it slow, grind it out, and then eventually, and you know, like we saw on Monday, even in these slower markets, it's why it's such a blessing, really. Even in these slower markets, you still have a day like Monday where UPXI goes up 500%. I mean, we honestly, in a slower market, you can't ask for more, right? Slower days like today, yeah, but on Monday was a day, if we're on the right side of the momentum, even on a slow market, you're up, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20K in a day. So what we're doing here, we can't take it for granted, not even for a second. Even when we're red, even when it's slow, even if we're not profitable yet, because if we can keep working to get to the other side, we know what to expect. So I'm gonna leave it there, and hopefully that motivates and encourages a few people who might be struggling to keep fighting and to keep it small, keep it tight until they get to the other side. Because it is insane stuff, man. I don't know where I would have been if I was to be working like a normal job doing accounting, because that was my major at Rutgers, right? I don't know. It would have been a whole different life. Right now, maybe I'm in Manhattan at some firm, kind of just, So we're glad that we're here, and we're not going to take it for granted. So hit that thumbs up. Check out the links down below. And tomorrow again. By the way, yesterday I didn't do a recap because I was so into the earnings, right? I don't know if you guys were watching earnings yesterday. I do have some money in Tesla, so I was watching the earnings call, and they missed on everything, honestly. But it seems like investors are not concerned about today. They're concerned about tomorrow, as in the next year and a half. You're paying attention for the robocabs, the robo taxi, and how much that income will influence the balance sheet. How much that income is going to drive up the revenue. And at that point is where they'll definitely be ahead of where they are now, and could potentially be beating on expectations, depending on how well it goes. And then of course they have the robots, but a lot of these things are like out in the future, right? I mean, when I sit down and I think about this company, it is pretty interesting, right? Like the goal, and I can see why people are invested, right? It sounds crazy to have a robot assistant in your house. It sounds bizarre, but we kind of already have it, right? We have Alexa, we have Google, we have our iPhones. Now you have like the Ring doorbell cameras. It seems like we're just getting more and more integrated with technology. And if we think about the first iPhone to where iPhones are now, or even the first cell phone, like the first flip phone, or even one of those giant like walkies kind of phones, right? I have this walkie here. This is like the first phone, like something like massive or even bigger than this, to being able to instantly FaceTime someone today, right? Was this like 25 years of improvements? So the first robot, whilst it might be all right, what about version 5, version 10, and it being at a price point where people can have it in their homes, after they become more efficient making the parts. It literally would be like iRobot, right? Then you have the robot walk the dogs. There's days right here where I'm at where like nobody wants to do the dishwasher. Mind you, technology again, right? Like back in the days you have to do the dishes the normal way. Now there's a washing machine, there's a dishwasher, and still it's like nobody wants to do that stuff. you know, Nobody wants to push a few buttons anymore. So it's like, just imagine you have the robot there, and then the robot is taking care of all those things. But they have to make it good. Like it has to be like the movies, right? Like what we see in the movies is what the robots would need to be. And I mean, it sounds crazy, but I'm pretty sure if you go back, maybe just 200 years, and you show someone an aircraft, a jet, a fighter jet, it's like this the idea of like you taking a AC-130, or like any sort of fighter jet, really, back to like the American Revolutionary War, or back when it was like the medieval days, what you would be able to do with just one helicopter with gas and fuel, and how you can change the landscape. So 300 years ago, these things were like unheard of. And so it's like you look ahead and where we're going. It could work. It could also fail if they don't execute it right. But I guess that's the risk of investing, right? You have the self-driving cars and things even just 10 years ago people would have not thought could have existed. A car can drive itself for X amount of miles and park. These cars are parking themselves into parking lots. I mean, so it can look very different just 50 years in the future. So we'll see, and I think that's why the earnings call, despite like missing so much, people are just kind of waiting. And it's not like they're doing nothing. I mean, they're still like $19 billion in revenue. You know what I mean? It's not what people would want for expectations today, but I mean, it's still a lot of money that they're generating. So we'll see how it goes. But of course, beyond that, of course, for me, SPY is the real big boy. Keep dollar cost averaging in, and we'll see how it goes in the next few months and few years. I'm hoping we can be back in all-time highs within 2 years time. This is not like a 1 week 1 month thing for me. In fact, it's more than likely the start of my long-term portfolio, right, in terms of the SPY. Back when the market crashed in 2020, financially just wasn't quite ready to really be in there with size. Just wasn't quite ready to be in there with size. So now we have a little bit of muscle to the hustle, and slowly but surely. But anyhows, take care, stay safe, stay green. I'm going to go head over to the doctor's office. Catch you guys later. Hit the thumbs up. See you guys in the recap.